DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? This is Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Introduce yourself, please.
Anna Dolce.
All right, so the Anna and Dre show, it's been a while since we put an episode out. That is all 100% on me, because Anna's been asking about it, like, yo, we haven't recorded, why haven't we been putting anything out? I've been working on a couple projects right now. I haven't been recording at all. Lately, I haven't been recording shit. I've been doing weekly motivation. That's pretty much it. I have not been recording. I haven't been turning on these cameras much because I'm working on a very time-intensive project, focus-intensive project that y'all will learn about very soon as I'm done doing the work on it, because it's going to be a very, very big project for me and my entire career arc, what I'm working on right now. But we are here. Finally, to do the Anna and Dre show. We got a Christmas tree right over there. Y'all can't see the Christmas tree because we ain't got no cameraman. This is on the tripod.
He got the most beautiful, plush, beautiful Christmas tree. We have to decorate it.
Yeah, so we got a Christmas tree. We didn't put any decorations on it yet, but you know, we did a couple Instagram stories of it and all that. So today's topic, let's get right into what's going on. Today's topic is, how do you deal with a significant other who is very work oriented? So whether that be playing a sport, because some young guys come to me and they say, well, Dre, how do I give enough time to my girlfriend when I still want to play basketball, or I'm still trying to pursue my dreams? And for those of you who are in committed relationships, maybe you're living with a man or a woman and they work a lot or you work a lot, and you're trying to find, how do you find a balance in the relationship while still being true to your dreams, your ambitions, and your business? So that's the question that we're going to answer today.
It's a great topic.
Okay, why is that a great topic?
A lot of people are affected by this, so I think it's going to be helpful as far as what we have to say, because we are in that type of relationship.
Yes, we are. So off the top, let's say a man comes to you and he says, hey, I am very work intensive, but my woman, she's not as into her work as me, and it's causing strife in our relationship. What do you say to the man?
It depends on what the conflict is, because I mean, there's so many directions I can go here, but if you're a woman and you're dealing with a man who is, especially entrepreneurs or anybody that even has a job and dedicates most of their time to their work, you actually don't deal with it or him, you deal with yourself as a woman.
What does that mean?
So again, a lot of relationships rupture because there is there is a resentment going on, because men are achievers. What motivates a male ego is having a mission and working towards that mission. Women, on the other hand, there are mission-oriented women. We all as well have a mission as well, but our mission is slightly different, and how we go about it is different. So men's ego is directly attached to the mission. A woman is a gatherer. We need to float and kind of go off our energy, and that leads us to our mission. And our mission is not necessarily all the time so achievement oriented. Our ego is not attached to the achievement. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now let's talk about us, since this is our show. We're going to use ourselves as an example. We're not just going to talk so abstractly about things. Okay. All right. So when we met, did you have an idea of my work commitment, my work schedule?
Not exactly.
Okay. When did you start to learn how? First of all, what would you say, if I wasn't here, what would you tell people? What's Dre's relationship to his work, to his business?
Dre works a lot. He works for himself, but he works for himself as he was working for someone else. So he's very structured with his work. He's very disciplined. He knows when he starts, he knows when he finishes. And if he's left to his own devices, he will never finish. So he's admitted that himself. So as a woman in this type of relationship, it's very easy to get down on things and to sometimes feel that you're not getting enough attention.
So what happens at that point? If you feel like you're not getting enough attention from me, like, what do you do? What do you say? And how do we fix it?
So at that very point, I mean, there are times when it's a healthy feeling. I mean, it's all healthy feelings, but usually I deal with myself. So one thing that I can help women with to tell them is deal with yourself, don't deal with a man, because if you try to take him away from his work, it's not going to work. That's his mission, and you need to be understanding of that. And not just understanding, but you need to really, really be in it with him mentally. Just understand the one thing, that male ego does not function without a mission. They have to have a mission and go after it for them to feel good about themselves, good about their relationships. It doesn't mean that you have to come second. It doesn't mean that he's going to save his business and, leave you. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It just means that his time, attention, focus, energy is going to go into his mission.
So for a young man watching this right now, or any age man watching this who's really focused and dedicated on their career, similar to how I will be.
Yes.
They got a woman in their life there's some strife in their relationship because of his commitment. What would you tell him to do to help that relationship? Because I think it's more males watching this than females. So
Correct.
What can that man do to not lose his relationship while still staying committed to his outcomes?
I think it goes both ways when I talk about understanding, because as much as a woman needs to understand, also a male needs to understand the female wiring, and we're wired for something different, which is connection. So if you don't nurture your business, if you don't work on your business, if you don't work on your relationship, it's gonna die. It's not gonna continue.
Right there. What does that mean, work on a relationship?
So work on a relationship means in this particular this context, is giving the attention and time and attention and focus and energy and love, everything that she needs also. Because two people have their basic needs, right? And love and connection is one of them. Everybody wants to feel loved, feel like they have a special person that cares about them, and also feel seen and significant, right?
Okay, so let's say we take 8 hours out of the day for sleeping. So that leaves 16 hours. Let's say a person works for 10. Mm-hmm. So maybe they have somewhere between 2 to 3 hours that are not work time in their day, roughly.
Yes.
Is that enough time to give to a relationship and maintain it? And what
Absolutely.
Can they do? What needs to happen in that time from a woman's perspective that a man can understand?
Yeah, so even if you have 1 hour for your relationship, 1 hour a day, that hour needs to be a quality hour. So
what does that mean?
The biggest thing is, a lot of these men have a hard time detaching, kind of going from their business into a different mode, which is a softer, when you're dealing with a woman, you're more softer, not more softer, but softer. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of vibing with her, if you can say that. You're kind of where she is mentally, emotionally, right? You're not in your mission right now. You stepped away from your mission. So you need to be with her and be completely and 100% present. And also, while you're working, it doesn't mean that you can't send her a message. It doesn't mean that if you're in the same space, let's say you work in the same space, or she's in the same space where you are, it doesn't mean that you can't show her a second attention. And it doesn't really take much.
So showing her a second, be specific, what do you mean?
Meaning, help her feel seen. So it can be different things. It can be talking to her, it can be, a touch, it can be conversation, but it doesn't have to be this prolonged thing. You just help her feel seen.
So when you say helping a woman feel seen, what does that mean? Because I like to break things down to like the details, so there's no confusion. Helping a woman feel seen. So let's say the part where you talked about, let's say a man has 1 hour in the day because he's working all the time and all this. 1 hour in the day. What is he doing in that hour that a woman's going to feel like, I can be in this relationship if this is what I'm going to get a couple times a week, this hour, and that's it?
I think first and foremost, most women will agree with me. We want understanding and presence. So you have to really be there, not on your phone, not talking about, thinking about your work, not thinking about anything that happened. And if you really, really want to be present, be interested in where she is, what she's feeling, what she wants to talk about. Because women have a tendency to kind of take small things and make them bigger, right? Girls would agree with me. You know, we can take a small situation and make it huge. And the guys do something completely different. They'll take a big, huge, big, complicated situation and condense it to a very, very simple, you know, one sentence, if you will, a lot of times. Okay. So expect that within that 1 hour, she probably wants to tell you everything that happened that week, or at least that day. And be there and listen to her. And like there's a Chris Rock has a skit on this. He's like, what do women want? Attention, you know? All you have to do is, and it doesn't even take a lot. All you have to do is say like 3 or 4 things. Really? Get out of here. I mean, I told you that bitch crazy. You remember that? It's like a perfect skit that Chris Rock did.
I don't know if most of them remember Chris Rock.
Yeah, oh my God.
They know Kevin Hart. They don't know Chris Rock.
Whatever. You guys need some depth.
The YouTube audience trends younger.
But look it up. Look up the Chris Rock about women and relationships, and you'll see the skit. But the point is, just be present within that 1 hour. Don't be somewhere else in your mind. Be with her.
So that being present part, that's a really important point, because the reason I'm saying this is an important point, because this is something that I didn't understand for a long time. Mm-hmm. Being present. So that means the time that you're spending with your lady, or the time these two people are spending together, means you're completely focused just in the moment. Mm-hmm. Is that what it means?
Yes. And also, you see, you can't be present with somebody if you're not on the same mental wavelength.
What does that mean?
So, meaning like if I'm telling you a story, mm-hmm. if you're like looking around and thinking about something else, I can sense that. So they're not just verbal, but they're cues that let me know that you're not with me. And the way you can show me that you're with me is just be curious about what I'm saying and help me see that you know it's important. Don't diminish my conversations. Don't minimize anything I'm saying. Actually tease out some parts, ask me questions, and be interested. Just genuinely be interested in me.
So what about when a woman is talking to a guy about something that he really doesn't care about?
For example?
She's telling him some story of something that happened at work.
Yeah.
That maybe the same thing happens like 3 times a week. And here it is like the 10th time in a row she's telling him about the same thing keeps happening. He's tired of hearing it. He knows what she's going to say. He's been working all day. He's tired. But this is their time. What's the man's... it's not even that he can trick himself into caring about that necessarily, but what can his mindset be to make sure he's giving his best to the woman in that moment?
So if I'm a woman, if I keep telling him the same story over and over again, that means maybe the first time I told the story, I didn't feel the understanding, so I want to reiterate some point. Or maybe there is something that I need to address within myself, but either way, there's a deeper point, deeper reason why I'm telling the story. So what you can do as a man, and to condense that time, so to condense the time that I'm telling you the story in, and also to not let it reoccur, so I don't tell you the same story 100 times. Get interested the first time. Get to the bottom of it at least the second time. If I'm telling you the story the second time, there's got to be a reason why I'm telling you the story second time. Maybe I didn't express myself the first time. So
when you say get interested and get to the bottom of it, does that mean you want me to try to help you figure it out? Like a solution to the problem?
It possibly, or a lot of times women just want to vent and get the feelings out rather than fix it. Because women are very smart. We know how to fix things. And this is like a big one. Women don't want men to fix things for us. We're independent thinkers, believe it or not, and we can fix our own problems. Here's a problem when we're venting and expressing our feelings, which is very unfamiliar for males, because you guys are taught to suppress emotions instead of releasing them. And the way women work through emotions, good and bad, is through releasing them. If we're happy, we're going to express that we're happy. But men, you need to be cool, calm, and collected. Never show your feelings. Don't cry. Be strong, right?
Okay. So on that note, just a couple days ago, Jay-Z had an interview with a guy from the New York Times. And he talked about several things. The interview was mostly about his last album. How his last album came out, what led to that album, what are the situations that happened in his life around the album, besides what, I mean, obviously everybody heard the album, and his wife, Beyonce, the stuff she said on her album. What did you take from the Jay-Z interview that you think men could learn from? If y'all didn't see the Jay-Z interview, just look it up on anywhere online. You can watch the whole video for free. It's like 35 minutes. You can watch it free. If y'all didn't see it, go watch it. But Anna's going to tell you.
Yeah, outstanding. I mean, every time he talks, I'm just captured.
Who, Jay-Z?
Captivated. You and Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, okay.
One of the things he said that when men, I don't know how he worded it, but when men suppress emotions, it's fake, it's not real. It's okay for men to cry, right? And it goes right back to what I was saying.
You're saying Jay-Z said it's okay for men to cry?
Jay-Z said it's okay if men cry. We're taught not to cry and to hold it all in, but it's not real, it's fake. That's what he said. And I agree with him. And the same reason, but men are socialized completely differently. They're socialized to keep everything in. So no wonder they don't understand women who express their emotions. We are wired differently, we're biochemically different, and also we're socialized differently as well, right?
Yeah.
So when I come to you and give you this big story and I tell you, maybe I tell you the same story over and over again, you probably weren't there with me in the story and paying attention the first or second time. That's why I keep telling you this story.
Okay.
Right? And it's understandable because you don't know that I'm sharing something rather than wanting for you to fix something.
Okay.
There is a difference. So if I'm sharing something with you and you want to fix it, to me to women that feels like you're minimizing everything I'm saying. Because all I want to do is just tell you the story. I don't need to fix it. I know how to fix it.
Okay. Now we have gotten a little bit off the topic here, which is the topic is dealing with a man or woman who's very committed to their business, very committed to their work, whatever that happens to be. You're a career woman. There are a lot of career women out there who, I mean, when you being a career woman, do you want a man who also is committed to his career? Would you prefer a man, not you necessarily, but any woman? Would she be looking for a guy who's more like, I work and then I'm done with work and that's over there and I'm here, or a man who's like all into his work and business at the same time as the woman? I
don't think you can generalize that. I really, different men and different women have different needs. So sometimes there is a female who has a lot of masculine energy, and she's also very masculine in her approach to her career. But it's very rare, and a lot of time it's very rare. Most of the time women are kind of socialized that way, and they think they have to have this like crazy mission and outdo men and go into this whole feminism, which is not even feminism. But to answer your question, it depends on a man and a woman. Sometimes men have more feminine energy, which is fine too. We all have both. So it really depends.
Okay. All right, so let's say the woman is the one that's really, really focused and committed to her career. And the guy, obviously, he has a career, maybe he has a job, but he's not, like, that's not his whole life. How does that, have you been in that type of situation? And how can a man help balance that out if the woman is the one who's all in, where the guy is like, yeah, I work, but that's not my life?
I think dynamic is the same. It's the same dynamic. Whoever works the most has to create time for their relationship, whether you're a man or a woman. I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters whether it's just a job or a career. If you're spending time on it and effort and energy on it, you're there. So you can't be in your relationship when you're at work, right? Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to, is there anything you want to add on this topic, or anything that I haven't asked or you want to talk about on the topic of dealing with a male or female who's really all in on their work but still trying to maintain a relationship?
What I would say is you don't deal with him or her, you deal with yourself. And the way you do it is, a lot of times if I'm a woman and I don't get attention from a man, what women tend to do is nag, complain, show the man that tell them and show them what they're not getting, what they're lacking, and there's a way around it. The way you do it is you kind of go into yourself and maybe not be as focused on the relationship, because if you it's like chasing your shadow. If you chase it, you're never going to catch it. So that's not the way to get it. Good way to get the attention. Good way to do it is to have adult conversations and kind of get educated on that first. And
What's
then
an adult conversation?
Adult conversation is without nagging, complaining, and no resentment and no resentful conversations. Just have a dialogue. Just open a conversation and tell him or her, hey, this is what I need, and what do you need? How can I fulfill your needs, whatever they are? Because if you feel left out in a relationship, he's not happy either, because at least he knows, on some level, he knows that you're not happy. So best way to deal with it, number one, to deal with yourself and not be as focused as in the relationship, not be as needy. Go get a hobby, go do something else. Go, it's like when they say, when you need love, give it to yourself. Give it to yourself first.
So for any person, male or female, who is really focused on their career, their goals right now, but they're single, they're not in a relationship, how can they even find a relationship, being that they're giving so much time to their work? And then how can they establish and build a relationship while still giving so much time, or is it not possible?
No, it's very possible. I think mission-driven men and women are great, but I think at the end of their lives, most successful people have said this. They realized that it was not about their mission and their goals. It was about their relationships. And if you don't succeed in your relationship, you don't succeed, period. If you're not happy in your relationship, either you can't have it, you don't have it, or you have it and you're not happy in it, you're not happy, period. So I think it's an essential element to happiness, well-being, and at the end of the day, your mission is not gonna love you. Other people will, people who you create families and relationships with. So you have to kind of realize where your priorities will be. Maybe it is your mission today, but if you're pursuing that mission for the future, think about your future and who you're going to become. Don't just think about who you are now, just think about who you're going to become in the future and what's going to be important to you down the road.
I like that quote. You said, your mission's not going to love you, other people are.
Yes.
That's really good. All right, I've never heard that before. That's a good
Thank you.
one. All right. Anything else we need to add on this topic before we wrap up?
No, unless you have questions.
No, if y'all have questions, y'all know what to do. Leave them down there in the comments, or any topic that we could talk about in the future, you're going to leave it down in the comments. Tell them where to find you online, the best place to find you.
You can connect with me on Instagram, Anna, double N _ Dolce.
Wait.
Cut that out.
Anna _ Dolce. Everybody knows how to spell Anna. Anna with two N's. We're going to put the name up on the screen somewhere. Anna _ Dolce, DOLCE. That's your Instagram. Mm-hmm. People can connect with you through Instagram. All right, great. And anything else we got to add? Anything else that I forgot? All right, so we're going to wrap it up right there on that note, people. For this show, I got a bunch of different topics that we haven't gotten to that I got written down here. So we just decide when we turn this on what we're going to talk about next. If there's a certain topic we haven't addressed or a certain question that we haven't gotten to that you'll want to hear a female's perspective or the perspective of a male and female having a conversation, leave it down in the comments, and if it's good, we'll get to it. One last thing you got to tell them.
Work on your game.
That's it. DreAllDay.com. We out of here.